What's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, Straight Briggs here continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do here on the Jam Session. We cook up every single game. Every single day, man. Money Making Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Looking to bounce back, man. I did drop my NBA Player of the Night last night. I got greedy. I took the Minnesota Timberwolves outright on the money line. I tried to throw a party in the house of disappointment last night, and I was disappointed. They did cover. Hopefully, some of you were smarter than I were, and you just grabbed the points in your back pocket. If you did do that, shout out to you. You covered in that instance. But, again, I got greedy. I took the T-Wolves outright money line. Thought they would tie the series up. It was a good game. Thunder Buddies prevailed. Thunder Buddies take a commanding 3-1 series lead now back home to Oklahoma City. We'll see if they'll close those boys out in Game 5. We got Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. We got the Indiana Pacers up 2-1. They won both games in New York. Had a 20-point lead at halftime in Game 3. Looking to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Looking to bring out the brooms. And New York then proceeded to do what we've seen them do a lot this postseason, was have a magical second half run. They came all the way back, prevailed, and won that game, now down 2-1. We'll see if they're able to tie this series up on the road and ultimately steal home court advantage coming back home, or we'll see if Indiana takes a commanding 3-1 series lead. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you guys know my thoughts here momentarily. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. All I ask is that you smash that like button for me. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. And, of course, I have premium plays over at the site, man. Money Making Tuesday, looking to bounce back, man. Had a bad beat with the Pacers, giving up that 20-point lead. And then last night I should have just grabbed the points in my back pocket with the T-Wolves, but I got greedy, went money line. So now drop back-to-back games, looking for a bounce back. Tonight's the night. I'm going to let you guys know my thoughts. Got the Pacers at home, at the crib. Right now, currently, I see them as 2.5-point home favorites. Total 220.5. I like the Pacers. Short, sweet, simple. I like the Pacers. I think they take a 3-1 series lead back to New York. And we'll see if New York is able to respond at home, at the crib. But Indiana's a different team, monster and animal at home, at the crib, man. I just haven't switched my handicap. Maybe that's kind of been the problem here in the postseason. But in that same breath, man, this is the first postseason where I've ever seen this many blown double-digit second-half leads. You feel me? So it's like, I handicap a team going up 20. New York has just found a way to overcome that. And maybe I need to factor that more into my handicap, but everything that I'm looking at tells me Indiana is the better basketball team. That's evident with them stealing the first two on the road in the Garden. Up 20 at home. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out Karl Anthony Towns. That's all I can say about Game 3. That's all I can say is shout out to the Knicks and their resiliency and their ability to fight back late in games. Tonight, though, I just don't foresee Indiana dropping back-to-back home games. I don't see that happening. I believe Indiana's favored in this game for good reason. This is likely going to be one of the best games of the series. Kind of like I said last night. I told you last night will probably be one of the best games of the series in that Thunder T-Wolves game. And I kind of got that feeling about this one tonight. It's like the rubber game. This is the one that tilts the scales for real, for real. You're going to get the best effort, really, from both teams in this game tonight. Mano y mano, best on best, at home, at the crib. I trust Indiana. I do. Coming off a loss, I trust them. Coming off of the 20-point blown lead, I trust them. Remember what they did to Cleveland after losing Game 3 last series. This is an Indiana team that's been dominant in the postseason over the last 2 seasons at home. I'm well aware of how good New York has been on the road, especially this postseason. What are they now? 6-1 on the road. They've been better on the road than they have been in the Garden, and we will give them credit for that. I'm just letting y'all know my thoughts at the end of the day. I'm just letting y'all know my thoughts. Everything that I look at tonight tells me Indiana. That's why Indiana is the favorite in this basketball game tonight. If you're taking the Knicks, I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you tonight. I'm not mad at you for taking the Knicks. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm rocking with Indiana, a team I've been rocking with for majority of the season. Let me put all my chips on the table in case you're new here. I do have a ticket on the Indiana Pacers to win the NBA Finals. I have a ticket on the Indiana Pacers to make the NBA Finals. I had a ticket on the Indiana Pacers to beat the Cavaliers. I also had a ticket on the Indiana Pacers to make the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, I've been yapping about the Indiana Pacers for 2 seasons now. I was the guy this season telling everybody Indiana was going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of people call me delusional. So I'm higher on Indiana than most. I'm also somebody who has kind of been known as a Knicks hater. I have, for majority of the season, called the Knicks overrated and overvalued. So me talking about the game right here today, I'm really just looking at it through the lens of how I've seen it the entirety of the way through. You feel me? I'm just letting y'all know what it is and what it ain't. So I think Indiana is the better basketball team. I've thought that for pretty much the majority of the season. Shout out to the Pacers, man. Shout out to the Pacers. I think they bounce back tonight at home, take a 3-1 lead. And we'll see if New York bounces back in New York, which I think after New York lost both games in New York, game 1 and game 2, I think they lose tonight, but then if they lose tonight, I'm 9 times out of 10 on New York in game 5. 9 times out of 10, I'm on New York in game 5. They win that game. Pacers close them out at home in 6. Is how I likely see the series playing out. So, just letting y'all know my thoughts, what I think. Total-wise tonight, total's kind of tough. I hate taking unders in Indiana basketball games. Last game was what, the lowest scoring game we've really seen between these two teams. Tonight, I would go back to the over. I think tonight's going to be an offensive explosion, a great back and forth game. I like points. I like points tonight. I'm going over the total. Prop-wise, I'm not mad at nobody taking a Karl-Anthony Towns over. This is his style series. He's been dominant in this series. I expect him to have another solid game tonight. I don't know if he has a magical game, but I think he has a solid game tonight. Brunson likely gets his. I mean, those two guys take all the shots, so they better have a good game. You feel me? It's kind of hard for me to pick out who's going to ball for the Pacers because they're so deep. They play so many players. So I think Halliburton has a better game. He struggled last game. I think he has a better game tonight. I'll probably look at some of his, maybe assists, maybe PRA, maybe just points and assists, maybe points alone. Just letting y'all know my thoughts and what it is and what it ain't. But that's what I got for y'all tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you appreciate my thoughts. You appreciate my opinion. All I ask is that you smash that like button for me. You subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as I always say, man, if you're rocking with me, rock with me. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. There's a link for both in the description below. And, of course, I have premium plays over at the site, man. Money Making Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, looking to close out May on the right foot. Looking to bounce back after a tough loss last night and a tough loss the last game as well. So, looking to bounce back tonight. I'll let y'all know. I just told y'all how I was feeling for the game. So, see y'all tomorrow. Money Making Tuesday. It's me, your guy, Jay Briggs. I'm out here. Peace.